Personal development is a continuous process of improving one's skills, character, habits, and overall life approach. At its core, it's about becoming the best version of yourself through conscious effort, reflection, and disciplined action. This idea is a cornerstone of motivational content that encourages individuals to take responsibility for their growth and to pursue excellence in all areas of life. The power of personal development lies in the ability to transform your mindset, reshape your habits, and realign your actions with your goals. It's not something that happens passively or overnight. It demands intention, consistency, and a deep desire to improve. One of the first steps in personal development is self-awareness. This involves taking an honest look at your strengths, weaknesses, values, and beliefs. Without knowing who you are and what you stand for, it's difficult to create meaningful goals or make purposeful changes. Self-awareness allows you to identify areas that need improvement and recognize patterns that may be holding you back. It also helps you become more emotionally intelligent, which is essential for managing relationships, decision-making, and navigating life's challenges. Personal development also emphasizes the value of discipline. Success in any area, whether it be health, relationships, finances, or career, requires consistent effort over time. Motivation might get you started, but discipline keeps you going. Building discipline means doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. This could mean waking up early to exercise, studying instead of watching TV, or saving money instead of spending impulsively. These small daily choices build momentum and shape your future. Another key principle in personal growth is goal setting. Without clear goals, it's easy to drift through life without direction or purpose. Goals act as a compass, guiding your decisions and actions. Effective goal setting involves more than just writing down dreams or ambitions. It requires breaking them into smaller, achievable steps and creating a plan to reach them. Reviewing your progress regularly and adjusting your approach when necessary is also important. Setting and achieving goals builds confidence and shows you that you are capable of creating change in your life. The pursuit of personal development often brings individuals face to face with adversity. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It occurs when you stretch yourself and face challenges head-on. Struggles, setbacks, and failures are not signs of defeat, but rather essential parts of the learning process. They teach resilience, problem-solving, and grit. When you view challenges as opportunities for growth instead of obstacles, you become mentally stronger and more adaptable. This mindset shift can make a huge difference in how you approach both your personal and professional life. Learning is another pillar of personal development. A commitment to continuous learning means you never settle for what you currently know. You always seek to expand your understanding and skills. This can take many forms, including reading books, listening to educational content, attending seminars, or learning from mentors. The world is constantly evolving, and those who commit to learning stay relevant and prepared for new opportunities. More importantly, lifelong learning fosters curiosity and keeps your mind active and engaged. A strong aspect of personal development involves taking responsibility for your life. This means no longer blaming others, your past, or circumstances for where you are. Instead, you accept that your choices, mindset, and actions determine your outcomes. Taking responsibility is empowering because it puts you in control. When you shift from a victim mentality to a proactive one, you begin to see that you have the power to influence your own life. This creates a sense of ownership and drives you to take consistent action toward the life you want. Developing a positive and focused mindset is equally important. The way you think influences how you feel and act. A mindset of growth, abundance, and possibility can propel you forward, while a negative, fear-based mindset can hold you back. Personal development teaches you to manage your thoughts, challenge limiting beliefs, and replace them with empowering ones. It's not about ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to see challenges as solvable and believing in your ability to grow and succeed. Habits also play a critical role in shaping your future. What you do daily creates the foundation for your results. Personal development emphasizes the power of building good habits and eliminating bad ones. Whether it's morning routines, exercise, journaling, or planning your day, small, consistent actions lead to major changes over time. The compound effect of habits, positive or negative, can be profound. Therefore, focusing on building intentional habits is a smart and effective way to support your growth. In the end, personal development is about intentional living. It's choosing to live by design rather than by default. It's about waking up each day with a sense of purpose and direction. It's not about being perfect, but about being better than you were yesterday. This journey can be challenging, but it's also deeply rewarding. As you grow, your capacity to contribute to others also increases. You become a source of inspiration and support to those around you. By committing to personal development, you not only improve your own life, but also have a positive impact on your community and the world. Motivational messaging plays a crucial role in inspiring individuals to take action, push past limitations, and believe in their potential. It taps into the human need for encouragement and direction, especially during moments of self-doubt, failure, or stagnation. At its core, motivational messaging is not just about words that sound good. It's about triggering a shift in mindset that leads to real, meaningful action. It has the power to reframe challenges, spark confidence, and remind people that they are capable of more than they think. The most effective motivational messages often speak directly to personal struggles and ambitions. They don't offer magic solutions, but they do offer hope, clarity, and a sense of urgency. They awaken a feeling of purpose and light a fire within, urging people to stop procrastinating and start moving toward their goals. Whether delivered through speeches, videos, books, or personal conversations, these messages often connect emotionally by addressing the inner voice that says, "You can't," and replacing it with "You can" and "You must." One of the reasons motivational messaging is so impactful is because it counters the negativity and fear that people often carry with them. Life is filled with setbacks, criticism, and challenges that can easily erode confidence and belief. When someone is constantly told they're not good enough, or when they repeatedly fail at something important, it's easy to become paralyzed. Motivation intervenes at that critical point, reminding the individual that failure is not final, that growth comes from struggle, and that persistence matters more than perfection. Motivational messages often revolve around themes of resilience, courage, and self-belief. They encourage people to keep going when they feel like giving up. Phrases like "don't quit," "keep pushing," or "you are stronger than you think" are simple, yet they strike a deep emotional chord. They echo the experience of everyone who has ever felt overwhelmed, scared, or tired, but chose to rise anyway. These messages are not about ignoring difficulty, they are about facing it with a stronger mindset. Another key element of motivational messaging is its focus on action. It encourages people to stop waiting for perfect circumstances and to start where they are with what they have. Many people spend years waiting for the right moment to begin. A better job, more money, less stress, more support. But motivation insists that action must come first and that clarity and results will follow. This principle shifts people out of passivity and into momentum. It says, "Don't wait, start now, you'll figure it out along the way." Motivational content also tends to focus on potential. It encourages people to think bigger, to imagine a life beyond their current limitations, and to believe that change is possible. Even when the odds seem stacked against them, these messages instill the belief that with enough effort, growth, and persistence, breakthroughs can happen. This is vital because many people live below their potential not due to lack of talent or opportunity, but due to fear, doubt, and limiting beliefs. Motivation cracks open that mental cage and invites a new way of thinking. Another powerful aspect of motivational messaging is its ability to create a sense of shared struggle and connection. When people hear stories of others who have overcome similar obstacles, it validates their own experiences and provides a blueprint for hope. Hearing about someone who rose from poverty, battled illness, rebuilt after loss, or succeeded against the odds can be transformative. It reminds listeners that they are not alone, and that if someone else can rise, so can they. These stories often serve as living proof that determination and faith can lead to extraordinary outcomes. In times of crisis or burnout, motivation can act like fuel. It may not solve the problem directly, but it can give someone enough strength to keep moving forward. Sometimes all a person needs is one sentence or idea that reignites their inner drive. Words like "you've come this far, don't stop now," or "it's supposed to be hard, that's how you grow," may seem small, but they can carry immense weight when heard at the right time. Motivation has the power to stop negative spirals and redirect energy toward progress. Consistency in motivational messaging also helps create a positive internal dialogue over time. The more people hear uplifting and empowering messages, the more they start to believe them. Eventually, the external voice becomes an internal one. Instead of thinking, "I can't," the mind starts saying, "I've got this." That mental shift may seem subtle, but it's what separates those who try and fail from those who fail and try again until they succeed. Motivation builds that inner voice that refuses to quit. Ultimately, motivational messaging is not a one-time spark. It's a tool for building and sustaining momentum. It doesn't guarantee success, but it does make the journey toward success more purposeful and energized. It reminds people of what's possible, nudges them out of comfort zones, and reinforces the truth that growth comes from effort. When used regularly and paired with action, motivational messages become more than words. They become a mindset and a lifestyle. A success-oriented mindset is a way of thinking that consistently focuses on growth, achievement, and progress, regardless of the obstacles that may arise. It is not defined by luck, background, or talent alone, but by a deliberate choice to adopt attitudes and habits that drive consistent forward motion. This mindset is about expecting more from yourself, staying focused on your goals, and being willing to do what it takes, even when the journey is hard or uncertain. People who operate from a success-oriented mindset view challenges as opportunities, failure as feedback, and hard work as a necessary investment rather than a burden. The foundation of this mindset is built on belief in your potential, your ability to learn, and your capacity to overcome. This belief does not ignore reality or pretend that everything will be easy. Instead, it affirms that with the right strategies and commitment, success is within reach. This kind of thinking separates those who wish for success from those who work for it. Wishing is passive, but believing in your ability to make things happen fuels action. When you believe that effort leads to results, you become more willing to invest your time, energy, and attention into what matters. A person with a success-oriented mindset takes ownership of their life. They don't wait for others to give them a break or fix their problems. Instead, they recognize that their decisions and actions shape their outcomes. This sense of responsibility is empowering because it puts the future in their hands. When things go wrong, they don't spend time blaming others or making excuses. They reflect, learn, and adjust. That resilience allows them to bounce back from setbacks quickly and stay focused on the bigger picture. Another critical aspect of this mindset is clarity of vision. People who succeed tend to have a clear sense of what they want and why it matters. They set specific, meaningful goals and keep those goals in front of them, even when distractions and difficulties arise. This clarity provides direction. Without it, it's easy to drift or give up when things get tough. But with a strong sense of purpose, every challenge becomes part of the path rather than a dead end. That sense of vision allows individuals to keep moving forward, even when the progress is slow or the rewards are delayed. Focus is also a key ingredient. In a world full of distractions, the ability to concentrate on your goals and tune out the noise is increasingly valuable. A success-oriented mindset prioritizes long-term gain over short-term pleasure. It means turning off distractions, saying no to temptations, and choosing discipline over comfort. This level of focus allows individuals to make consistent progress, which is often what separates success from mediocrity. It's not about working harder all the time, it's about working smarter and staying committed to what matters most. People who think with success in mind are also not afraid to fail. In fact, they often expect failure along the way. But instead of letting it stop them, they see it as part of the learning process. Failure becomes a tool for growth rather than a source of shame. This attitude allows for experimentation, creativity, and persistence. It's not about being perfect, it's about getting better. Each misstep becomes a stepping stone. This approach reduces fear and increases confidence because mistakes are no longer something to avoid. They are something to learn from. Surrounding oneself with the right influences also supports a success-oriented mindset. The people you associate with can either push you forward or pull you back. Positive, driven individuals provide energy, insight, and support. They challenge you to raise your standards and hold you accountable. In contrast, negative or complacent influences can drain motivation and reinforce limiting beliefs. Those who want to succeed understand the importance of protecting their environment and being intentional about who they listen to and spend time with. A success-focused mind is also deeply committed to growth. It thrives on learning, self-improvement, and adapting. This mindset views the process as just as important as the result. It finds value in progress even when results are not immediate. People with this perspective are lifelong learners. They read, listen, observe, and ask questions. They are always looking for ways to improve their mindset, their skill set, and their habits. This hunger for growth keeps them moving forward, especially when motivation fades. Ultimately, a success-oriented mindset is about consistency. It's not about one big moment of inspiration or a lucky break. It's about showing up every day with the intention to be better, do better, and move closer to your goals. It means taking action even when you don't feel like it. It means continuing to push even when you feel stuck. And it means believing that in the end your effort will pay off. This mindset does not guarantee an easy path, but it does create the conditions where success becomes far more likely. It transforms potential into performance and dreams into reality. Practical wisdom is the kind of knowledge that goes beyond theory and speaks directly to how we live, work, and relate to others. It's rooted in real life experience, common sense, and sound judgment. Unlike abstract concepts or motivational slogans, practical wisdom is about what works in daily life, what actually leads to better decisions, stronger relationships, and consistent progress toward meaningful goals. It teaches us not just what to think, but how to think and how to act with clarity and purpose. One of the core traits of practical wisdom is the ability to simplify complexity. Life is full of complicated situations, difficult choices, and unexpected problems. Practical wisdom helps break those down into manageable parts. It allows someone to look at a situation and ask the right questions. What matters most right now? What's within my control? What's the next best step? These kinds of questions are powerful because they steer attention away from worry, blame, or confusion and back to action. Instead of being overwhelmed by everything that could go wrong, practical wisdom focuses on what can be done here and now. This form of wisdom is also built on the lessons of experience. Mistakes, setbacks, and failures are not wasted in the hands of someone who is paying attention. Every struggle can teach something useful if we are willing to reflect on it. That's the key reflection. It's not just going through things that makes someone wiser. It's thinking through what happened, why it happened, and what could be done differently next time. People who cultivate practical wisdom take the time to extract meaning from their experiences. They become better at predicting outcomes, recognizing patterns, and making smarter choices over time. Another important aspect of practical wisdom is knowing that timing and balance matter. It's not just about what to do, but when and how to do it. A wise person knows that telling the truth is important, but also understands the value of timing and tone. They understand that hard work is critical, but so is rest and recovery. They value ambition, but not at the cost of integrity or well-being. This kind of balance is often learned through trial and error, and it becomes a compass for living well, not too fast, not too slow, but in rhythm with what life demands at any given moment. Practical wisdom also teaches that results come from consistency, not just intensity. People often chase big breakthroughs or dramatic changes, but wisdom knows the power of small steps taken daily. It understands that showing up every day, doing the right things even when no one is watching, and making steady progress matters more than occasional bursts of effort. Whether it's saving money, getting healthy, building a career, or learning a new skill, the long-term game is won by those who stay committed to the process. Wisdom reminds us that persistence beats perfection. Listening plays a large role in this type of wisdom. People who are wise don't just talk. They listen, observe, and absorb. They learn from others, from history, and from feedback. They don't assume they have all the answers. Instead, they stay open to correction and insight. This humility makes their advice more valuable because it's based on a broad understanding, not a narrow opinion. When someone gives practical advice, it often comes from this quiet confidence, the kind that doesn't need to impress but aims to be useful. Practical wisdom also embraces simplicity. In a world full of noise, distractions, and overthinking, simplicity is a strength. A wise person knows that complexity doesn't always equal depth, and that sometimes the best solution is the simplest one. They don't get caught up in overanalyzing or endlessly planning. They move forward with clarity and focus. Simplicity doesn't mean shallow thinking. It means clear thinking. It strips away the unnecessary and keeps attention on what matters most. Courage is another trait tied closely to practical wisdom. It's one thing to know what's right and another to do it. Wisdom pushes people to act with integrity even when it's difficult. It encourages hard conversations, brave decisions, and standing firm when it would be easier to stay silent. Practical wisdom gives strength to values, making sure they're not just words but lived actions. This kind of courage is quiet but powerful. It influences others not through force but through example. What makes practical wisdom so valuable is that it applies to every part of life. It helps in relationships where listening, empathy, and timing are critical. It supports professional growth where discipline, decision-making, and clear communication matter. It influences financial choices where patience, planning, and restraint lead to stability, and it deeply affects personal growth where reflection, honesty, and self-awareness guide the journey. Ultimately, practical wisdom is not about knowing everything. It's about using what you do know to live better, help others, and make progress without getting stuck in fear or confusion. It's earned over time, built through experience, and sharpened by reflection. It's the kind of wisdom that doesn't just sound good, it works. It's useful, honest, and grounded. In a world filled with noise and distraction, practical wisdom remains one of the most powerful tools anyone can have. Growth through challenges is one of the most powerful truths in life. It's often in our most difficult moments that we gain the deepest insights, build the strongest character, and discover strengths we never knew we had. While many people try to avoid discomfort, pain, or failure, the reality is that challenges are not just obstacles. They are opportunities. They are the testing grounds where potential becomes power and where who we are is reshaped into who we're meant to be. The growth that comes through difficulty is not always immediate or obvious, but over time it transforms us in ways that comfort and ease never could. Life will always bring difficulties. No one is exempt. Whether it's personal loss, financial stress, rejection, failure, or uncertainty about the future, challenges are part of the human experience. What sets people apart is how they respond to those challenges. Some give up or retreat, while others use hardship as a reason to grow stronger, think deeper, and rise higher. The difference is not about talent or luck, it's about mindset and resilience. People who grow through adversity see every challenge as a chance to learn something about themselves and the world. One of the first benefits of going through hard times is that it forces you to confront what matters most. When life gets shaken up, distractions fall away. You stop wasting time on things that don't serve you and start focusing on what's essential. Priorities become clearer, and so do values. In this clarity, people often find new motivation, purpose, and direction. A tough season in life can awaken something that's been dormant for years, a new goal, a lost passion, or a deeper sense of meaning. Another way challenges promote growth is by teaching resilience. Resilience is not just the ability to survive difficulty, but to come out stronger on the other side. Each time you face a setback and choose to get back up, you become more durable, more resourceful, and more courageous. You start to believe in your capacity to adapt and overcome. Over time, you develop a kind of mental toughness that allows you to face future difficulties with a calmer, more confident attitude. You stop fearing hard things because you've already proved to yourself that you can handle them. Challenges also expose our limitations, which is not a bad thing. When we're stretched beyond our current ability, we're forced to grow. We may need to develop new skills, rethink our strategies, or shift our attitudes. This stretching process is uncomfortable but necessary. It pushes us past complacency and forces innovation. Whether it's learning to manage time better, communicate more effectively, or build emotional control, difficulties often drive the changes we've been avoiding. And in doing so, they expand our capabilities and prepare us for future opportunities. There's also a kind of wisdom that only comes from lived experience. Reading about adversity is not the same as walking through it. When someone has faced failure, grief, disappointment, or rejection and kept going, they carry with them a deeper understanding of life. They become more empathetic, more grounded, and more patient with others and with themselves. That maturity can't be faked or fast-tracked. It's earned, and it becomes one of the most valuable aspects of personal growth. Through challenges, many people also discover the strength of their support systems. Hard times often reveal who is truly there for you and who is not. Relationships deepen when they are tested and survive. Sometimes people find unexpected support from strangers or new friends who show up in meaningful ways. At the same time, challenges can also highlight toxic relationships that need to end. This process may be painful, but it clears the way for healthier, more authentic connections in the future. Facing adversity can also awaken creativity. When resources are limited or traditional paths are blocked, people are forced to think differently. They start looking for new solutions, experimenting with new ideas, and embracing unconventional approaches. Many great innovations, businesses, and life changes have come from a place of frustration or limitation. When doors close, people with a growth mindset start building their own. That mindset, seeing possibility where others see dead ends, is a skill that gets stronger every time it's used. Growth through challenges also leads to greater self-respect. When you know you've been through something hard and didn't quit, it changes the way you see yourself. You start to believe in your ability to endure and to create change. You carry a quiet confidence that comes not from arrogance but from earned experience. This confidence becomes a foundation for future risks and dreams because you know you've already survived difficulty and grown from it. In the end, challenges are not something to fear or avoid. They are part of the path, not a detour from it. Every struggle brings with it a lesson, every setback offers a choice, and every pain holds the potential for power. Growth is not about avoiding the storm, it's about learning how to navigate it. When you embrace challenges instead of resisting them, you open the door to a deeper, more resilient, and more fulfilled version of yourself. Timeless principles are the enduring truths that guide human behavior and decision, making regardless of changing trends, technologies, or social climates. These are the foundational ideas that remain relevant across generations because they speak to the core of what it means to live with integrity, purpose, and effectiveness. While circumstances may evolve and the tools we use may shift, timeless principles stay steady, offering a compass through both chaos and calm. They provide grounding in a world that often feels unstable and distracted, helping individuals make decisions that lead to long-term fulfillment rather than short-term gratification. One of the most powerful aspects of timeless principles is their universality. Concepts like honesty, discipline, humility, perseverance, and respect don't belong to one era, culture, or philosophy. They are cross-cultural, cross-generational, and universally understood. These principles work because they align with human nature. They tap into what builds trust, creates results, and sustains relationships. They're not always the easiest path, but they're almost always the most effective over time. When followed consistently, they create a structure for personal and professional success that isn't dependent on external conditions. Living by timeless principles requires a commitment to character. In a world that often celebrates shortcuts and rewards appearances over substance, it takes strength to choose principle over popularity. For example, honesty may not always be the easiest route, but it builds trust and credibility that lasts. Discipline may not feel exciting, but it produces results that others can't replicate. Humility may go unnoticed by the crowd, but it fosters growth and meaningful connection. These principles don't promise instant gratification, but they do guarantee long-term value. Another defining trait of timeless principles is that they are self-reinforcing. The more you practice them, the stronger they become, and the more natural they feel. Take consistency as an example. At first, doing the right thing day after day may feel demanding, but over time it becomes part of your identity. The same is true for patience, kindness, or responsibility. Each time you choose to follow principle rather than impulse, you strengthen your ability to do it again in the future. Over time, this leads to a powerful sense of self-trust. You know you can rely on yourself to act with purpose even under pressure. Timeless principles also bring clarity during moments of confusion or stress. When the path forward isn't obvious, principles offer direction. Instead of making decisions based solely on emotion, fear, or peer pressure, you can ask, what's the right thing to do? What aligns with my values? What will I be proud of tomorrow, not just today? These questions simplify complex choices because they shift focus from what's easy or popular to what's meaningful and right. This clarity becomes especially valuable in leadership, where decisions can affect many lives and where integrity is often tested. There's a reason why successful people often return to simple, principle-based wisdom. They understand that results are built on fundamentals. It's not just about talent or strategy. It's about how you show up every day, how you treat others, and how you hold yourself accountable. Whether it's in business, health, relationships, or personal development, principles like persistence, courage, and service create a solid foundation. They don't depend on external motivation because they're driven by internal alignment. When someone lives by principle, their motivation becomes more consistent because it's rooted in identity, not circumstance. Another benefit of timeless principles is that they create stability in a fast-changing world. Trends come and go, technologies become outdated, popular opinions shift, but principles don't change. That's why they're so valuable. In times of uncertainty, people look for something solid to stand on. Principles provide that foundation. They remind us that while we can't control everything around us, we can control how we respond. We can choose to act with integrity, to keep our word, to respect others, and to pursue excellence regardless of the noise around us. Timeless principles also connect generations. The advice passed down from grandparents, mentors, and wise teachers often carries these truths, not because they're old, but because they work. The value of hard work, gratitude, forgiveness, and perseverance hasn't changed, and it won't. These principles don't get outdated because they address the core of what it means to live well and contribute meaningfully. They outlast every trend because they're rooted in what truly matters. Applying timeless principles is not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. There will be times when it's tempting to compromise, cut corners, or take the easy way out. But every time you choose principle over convenience, you strengthen your character. You build a life that feels aligned and whole. Over time, this creates a kind of quiet confidence that no success or failure can shake. It's the confidence of knowing that you're living in a way that honors your values, respects others, and contributes something real to the world. In the end, timeless principles are not just rules to follow. They're a way to live. They provide direction when you feel lost, strength when you feel weak, and wisdom when you face hard choices. They build trust with others and with yourself. They create a foundation that doesn't crumble under pressure, and they offer a path to a life of meaning, purpose, and impact. In a world of noise and distraction, timeless principles are a signal worth following.